All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory due unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. This is another lesson coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh, who is the Heavenly Father, and Yahushai, who is his beloved Son. I'm a brother Tazabon at Great Millstone, Arizona camp, Lord will, with another video to edify. And I wanted to go on this video here, and I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and brothers have been putting in their 2 cents. This thing has been broken down, but for the sheer reason that these things are coming to pass more on a frequent level. Prophecy speaking louder than it ever has. When men go off in the understanding of this, the Lord set up men to actually correct that. So, hey, the scriptures tell you I'm set up as a defense of the gospel, and this is what this is going to be.
Of God, hear God's word. Matthew 18 and 11. All right.
One more thing.
Okay.
Okay, so look, the mark of the beast, right? That's mentioned in the Bible, right?
Yes, the mark of the beast.
All right, so you think that's the COVID vaccination?
No, mark of the beast is sin. All right, we got videos on it. I can't go through the whole thing right now.
So 2 points in that need to be addressed is he called the mark of the beast sin, which is wrong. And he tried to say that he can't go into it right now, which the scriptures tell you. You got to be ready to go into things. So I'm gonna start grabbing it, man. You got to answer people's questions, man, because remember the scriptures tell you that Israel is a foolish people, man. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing, man. For the most part, our people know nothing. So, for the true definition of what sin is, and it's not the mark of the beast. First John 3 and 4, it says, whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So the transgression of the law is sin, not the mark of the beast. Are you sinning if you take it? Yeah, because when you go into the law, it tells you, grab that. Grab that. Now, putting anything under your skin, you'll be breaking the law. Look, it says Leviticus 19:28. It says, "Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh." You see? So you're not supposed to do that in the first place, So look, Leviticus 21:5. It says, "Ye shall not make baldness upon your head, neither shall ye shave off the corner neither shall you shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in your flesh." So you taking the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, is not sin. You'll be sinning, man, because the way they deliver that thing is through an incision. We're gonna go into that, man. So taking the mark of the beast, would you be committing sin in the process? But the mark of the beast is in sin. The mark of the beast is going to be something physical. And for the point where I said, you got to be able and willing and ready to give an answer to anybody asks. But he said he didn't have no time to go through it. So this is First Peter's, and that's something that you should be willing to go through, on the spot anytime, man. Anytime when that comes up, that's one of the most crucial in prophecy. That is the last one before the missiles drop. Because when you go into the scriptures, man, it says this spirit of Yahweh Shai. Salakia, this is taking a minute. I'm kind of going in the spirit. I didn't really have everything put together. It says, Revelation 19:10, it says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai." So Yahushai, this is the testimony of Yahushai, right? Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. And this dude covers, but that's prophecy, right? And they say, yeah, it's prophecy. So why is it that you're not going to go through that when this is prophecy that hadn't happened yet? You know? This is 1 Peter 3:15. It says, But sanctify Yahweh in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that seeketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. So what is the hope that's in us with meekness and fear? That the Lord will deliver us from that mark of the beast, man. Revelation 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. What's going to be the biggest hour of temptation? When this devil rolls out that mark of the beast, man. Because we're going to go into it. It says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. That means everybody to receive that mark. You know, our hope and our patience is that through doing this work, the Lord will sit here and give us some protection against that. But you got to know what the defense is first, man. You can't call out, dodge the jab. You were never taught what the jab is. You can't call out, you know, block the hook, and you don't know what the hook is. You know? It says, but thou hast kept the word of my, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. We're dwelling on the earth, so this is going to be the trial. You got to be able and ready to get that answer.
Because one thing.
That's our prophecy, right? You know,
Give me Nehemiah.
Supposed to be.
You said what now?
That's our prophecy, mark of the beast.
Yeah, the mark of the beast is prophecy, but it's not no chip. It's not no microchip. It's not the COVID vaccine. It's none of that. That's what some can.
The mark of the beast is the microchip. You know, it's looking like they're gonna couple the vaccine with that the CV-19 vaccine with the mark of the beast, because they're trying to sit here and come out with a way to track that, and it's already written into the plan of the Operation Warp Speed to have a digital tracking system. This is the same reason why they're willing to break federal law on sharing your information, your health information, with the government. You know, when these vaccines go out, because they're using this as a means to test some stuff out, man. So, you know, this is all leading up to the mark of the beast, and we're gonna get
Teach, but they don't have no scriptural proof saying that a microchip is going to be the mark of the beast.
See, and it's simple, because the scriptures tell you the Most High spoke in similitudes and dark sayings, man. So like, yeah. Now the scriptures isn't going to come outright and say, hey, this is the mark of the beast is a microchip, because back when John was seeing this, there were no microchips on the scene. He could only describe it as what he knew the best way he could. You know, right now, you know, if we on this earth, you know, you never know what's going to happen in the future, but you know, when the scriptures is talking about, you know, these are the same men that'll sit here and possibly go into Revelation, where it's talking about World War II, where they said that they were like locusts upon the earth, talking about the World War II airplanes and everything, and they had tails that stung as scorpions. They'll be able to dissect that and say that this is talking about those this is talking about those warplanes, and the gunman on the back is the scorpion's tail. They'll be able to go into that and decipher that, but they'll sit here and say, hey, this Bible doesn't speak expressly about a microchip. It says, this is Psalm 78:2. It says, I will open my mouth in a parable, I will utter dark sayings of old. You see, Proverbs 1:6 says, to understand a proverb, in the interpretation, the words of the wise in their dark sayings. So the words of the wise in the dark sayings, to understand their interpretation is what? That the understanding that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, because it was a dark saying. He didn't know how to say it. So what? He said it in the best way he could, and it was for us to interpret it in these times.
The mark of the beast is sin that you was going to have in your mind and working it, doing it with your hands. Okay, that's why it was going to be written in the mind and it was going to be on the hand. Okay.
Look, and he stopped there. He didn't really try to go much more into it.
Okay, so is that it right there?
9 and 18.
26. Now, let me ask you something. Could you stop the white man from putting a chip in you if he wanted to right now?
Yeah, I think
You think if they pulled up in their police cars and threw you on the ground and did you like George Floyd and put that knee on you and say, here,
I'll hold out as long as I can.
you'll hold out, but that's me too.
Right.
That's him. Not willingly, right? So, but I'm just saying they doing martial law right now. We don't know what God got in plan. So if the microchip was the mark of the beast, could you stop yourself from getting it? So they let you know right there, that's not the mark of the beast. Now watch what the Bible say right here about the mark.
You see, in putting that spirit out there as the what ifs and never making a definitive stance is the same reason Jake has not risen up the proper way, man. It says Ezekiel 13 and 4 says, O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the desert. They have not gone into the gaps. You know, basically those gaps is the breach in your defense, man. Now they're made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the day of battle. Stand in the battle in the day of Yahweh. You know, you're leaving people wide open with this what if doctrine, man. We got to be, you know, when you go to the Lord, he's cut straight and dry, man. It is what it is. So you got to give Israel that defense and cover those gaps, man. Because living a what if is detrimental to your defense. You know, if you're holding a shield and you sent it off to be repaired, because you know that if somebody hits it hard enough on the top, your handle or your strap that holds the shield onto your hand falls apart, that can leave a mean gap in your defense. That can be a mortal wound, man. We have to stand up and set that definitive stance, man. We can't be on no what if. This is revelation in the way you know what his scenario don't work, because the scriptures tell you you're gonna have to sit here and make a choice. And I'm gonna grab that precept real quick and I'll go to the Revelation 13. It says, choose you. Deuteronomy 30 and 19, it says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I've set before you life and death. Because if you take that chip, man, you take the mark of the beast, that's your ass, man. You're out of there. I set before you life and death, blessings and cursing. It says, therefore choose life, that thou mayest live. You see? Joshua 24:15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve Yahweh, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, and the new flood is going to be through fire, man. Just like when Moses came out of Egypt, that's the people that we serve was the Egyptians. Just like in this time, we're serving the new Egypt, the new Romans, right? So you got to choose who you're going to serve, man, because you taking that chip is showing who you're serving, man. Because you're either going to worship this Edomite, the so-called white man's kingdom, and his power structure, his image, or you're going to worship and serve the image of the Lord, which is through righteousness. It says, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that's what you got to choose, is to serve the Lord, man. This is when that mark of the beast rolls out, you know, that's going to be your first chance to actually choose whether or not you're going to be a slave or whether or not you're going to be a free man in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, man. Because when you go to the law to own a slave forever, what did you have to do? Bring him to your door and pierce his ear through. And they're doing a different. Esau has his corner piercing up, pierce you through with his technology to show whether or not you're down for him or not. Revelation 13 and you know what, I gotta go into this a little bit. It says Revelation 13 and 12, it says, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And what was that first beast? It was NATO and the EU. And when you go to this, that first beast was the Roman Empire. So when you go to the Roman Empire, right? It's like if we're saying NATO and the EU, but that first beast was the Roman Empire. When you go into the Roman Empire, it had a lot of vassal states. You know what? The Roman Empire went down. That's why it had that deadly wound and was healed. It says, and go, it says, and he had, and he, it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. And this was done. NATO and the EU was able to do that because the Roman Empire wasn't able to rain fire down from heaven in the sight of men, right? But the revised Roman Empire, that beast that had the wound and it was healed, America and NATO and the EU, right? It was called the bombing of Yugoslavia. So the bombing of Yugoslavia was the first military bombing when NATO came into power, right? NATO bombing of Yugoslavia in the North Atlantic Organization Treaty Organization military operation against the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia during the Kosovo War. The airstrike lasted from March 24th, 1999 to June 10th, 1999. So that was a good spill of fire falling down from heaven. So this was the first actual bombing that NATO did in its career. It said the bombing killed 1,000 members of Yugoslav security forces, in addition to 489 and between 489 and 528 civilians. So this was the first bombing. This is how you know who that beast is, right? That's why I went into that information. Now, I'm going to keep going. He says, and he deceiveth them that dwell upon the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell upon the earth, they should make an image to the beast, which is a system. This is where you get that new world order, that great reset. There's a system being made for that beast. So everybody comes into that one world order. It says, which had the wound by the sword and did live. It says, and we already went into how the wound, the Roman Empire went down when Jake started coming up into power. When you have the Holy Roman Empire, right? It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, the system of the beast. He was able to sit here and give it the breath he needed, right? to that system, which is going to be this microchip. It says that the image of the beast, the system, should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image. Because how's it going to speak? It's going to be through the data that's collected through these microchips, man. That's the speaking, man. It's a whole new language being codified, man, and cause it as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't worship it, the so-called white man isn't going to force it on you. He's just going to put you to death. This is going in prophecy. This is why the scriptures tell you about a more sure word of prophecy. It says, and causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and their foreheads, and that no man by or self save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So when you go into that mark, let's get it. Because this has to be understood. When you go into that mark, you got to understand as well, when John the Revelator saw all this stuff happening, when the Lord was showing him, he did not know what a microchip was. All he had was the experiences that he had in that time to lean upon. So when he saw this, off of the experience that he had in that time, his understanding of the language in that time, this is what he said it was. Charagma, right? So you go into this word charagma for mark, Greek 5480. It says charagma. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Now, the Antichrist, there's many Antichrists, the scriptures tell you. Let me grab that. 1 John 2:18. It says, little children, it is the last time, and ye shall be, it says, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now there are many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. And anybody that goes against the anointed, because that's what the word crisis means to be anointed, you're going against you're being an Antichrist because you're going against the anointed. So if you take this, you're showing your servitude to your servitude, and your service is going to those that are against the Most High. It says the mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpted, graven work. You see, so they're going to imprint you with something, right? But when you go into the root word of this, and back in the old word, man, they knew what words meant. So they knew the root words for this and that, man. It wasn't like today where you Jake can just make up anything on the fly and not know a damn thing. You know, they knew the meaning of their words. When you go into the root word of charagma, it goes to charax, G5482, Greek 5482. It says a pell or stake, a palisade. Now, when you go into a pell or stake, pulled it up on here. When you go into a pell or stake, a palisade, says a fence of wooden stakes or iron railings fixed in the ground, forming an enclosed or defense, or defense. So palisade, right? Go into these images, right? When you look up a palisade, it looks exactly like the delivery system. You know, of this is the best way he can John the Revelator could describe it. Take out definition. You see? Now let's go into you look at the implantable microchip, it'll even show you the syringe, right? You see that? Looks just like those Palisades, those stakes. This is what John the Revelator was seeing. Now it says, I'll keep going a little further. It says, pels between which earth and stone, trees and timber are heaped and packed together. Now peep this. If you go to the root word of that, now you're going into how the monetary system could tie into this, man. Because without you having this and this Edomite's new system, you won't be able to buy and sell. Your information won't be there. You won't have any ID. You'll basically be a non-existent person. It says grapho, right? It says to write with reference to the form of letters, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment paper, or other material, to write with reference to the contents of writing, to express in written characters, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, written down record. So this is how to be able to keep a record. Now, they've been working on compression software for the same purpose. This is where you get blockchain technology coming into, turning those big files into tiny little files that can be stored on one small device, which will be that device, and it'll just pull up your information just like that, man. This is where you get quantum computing. This is how he's gonna do it, man. This is how he's gonna exalt himself to be God, man. But if you take this, you will be destroyed. You taking this depends on whether or not you're gonna get salvation, man. Because if you take it, that's it. We get this Revelation 14. Revelation 14:9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So if you receive this mark of the beast, this microchip, you know, if you consent unto it, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. So if you take this, that's it. You're going to be taking part in that last judgment, man, which is just that great fire. So, you know, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to say, call halal, Yahweh Shem El Shai, Hashem Kokodash, double honor to elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Don't take the mark of the beast, man. Don't take the RFID microchip. Don't take this devil's Maxine. You know, trust in the Lord, no matter what. Shalom.